Canelo never been beaten at super middleweight.
Canelo's massively slowed down.
Think on purpose or with age?
On purpose and age and style, to be fair.
The thing here, though, is if you put pure technical level and skill on, I think Crawford has more.
Has Crawford got the power to hurt Canelo? Possibly.
Speed-wise, I think Crawford. Boxing IQ, I think Crawford, although that's close.
I can see this being a very boring fight.
I've got Crawford. I'll say Crawford by decision.
Canelo, body shot, 9th round.
Welcome back to BoxCast. In this episode, we're going to be looking at the upcoming labelled fight as the fight of the century, although I'm not sure that's the apt name. But a really big fight between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terence Bud Crawford, for the undisputed super middleweight titles that Canelo holds. And Crawford is stepping up like 2 weight classes from 154 to 168 pounds. And from junior middleweight up to super middleweight. And this is taking place on September the 13th at the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. I think it's going to be shown on Netflix in the USA and in the UK. And we'll go through the fight and we'll go through the undercard, although there's not loads on the undercard. I think because they're paying the main fight so much money, which we'll get into. So let me start with a tale of the tape. So Saul Canelo Alvarez has a record of 63 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 67 fights in total, 39 wins by KO. He's age 35. He's 5'7.5", 171 centimeters tall. He's got a 70.5-inch reach, which is 179 centimeters. This fight is at super middleweight, which is 168 pounds, 76.2 kilos. And he fights out of an orthodox stance. Terence Bud Crawford has a record of 41 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 41 fights in total, 31 wins by KO. He's aged 37. He's 5'8", 173 centimeters. He's got a 74-inch reach, which is 188 centimeters. And he's a switch hitter, but he normally fights out of a southpaw stance, although he can fight orthodox as well. And he can switch in between. Intriguing fight, but I've seen a lot of different opinions on this. It's, for, against, and, varying opinions of what's going to happen. What are your thoughts on this? Canelo never been beaten at super middleweight. Let me just put out.
18 months ago, you just said, I'd have gone, Canelo knocks him out easily.
Mm-hmm. What's changed?
Canelo's massively slowed down.
Mm-hmm. Think on purpose or with age or
on
just
purpose,
the style?
On purpose and age and style, to be fair.
Because he seems to be a lot more efficient now than he was before.
And the problem I've got now is, I've got a horrible feeling it's going to be a really, really, really boring fight.
Don't remind me of what was that guy, the Cuban guy for? No, we don't want to see that. Skull. Nightmares.
I've got a horrible feeling it's going to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
These fight of the centuries, did he ever live up to the hype? They don't.
No. It'll either be one way or,
you're going to have Crawford using his boxing skills, speed, in and out, and Canelo trying to take his head off.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong? I hope I am, but I think that's the way it's going to be, and there'll be about 8 or 9 punches landed around.
Well, Canelo, it's not I think the last fight against Skull, everybody's blaming Skull, but I think the CompuBox output, he was the lowest.
I think Canelo's just getting pissed off at chasing people around the ring.
Yeah.
Is Crawford going to do the same? And I get if he does, why? Because I wouldn't want to stand in front of Canelo and
get pounded to death.
Yeah. Has Crawford got the power to hurt Canelo? Possibly. Has Canelo got the power to Crawford?
Definitely.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually think it's quite a good fight because, I'll tell you why. Because I think Canelo's is not really a big super middleweight. And he's come up from 140, I think he started.
Like the size thing doesn't really interest me.
I think that I don't think there's that big a size difference because I think walking around, they're probably the same weight.
Yeah,
because walking around, Terence Crawford's about 180 something pounds. I think Canelo isn't that much more than 160. He's probably about 180. And all right, he's a bit bigger than Crawford in his natural frame because he started 140. Now he's been at super middleweight for a heck of a long time. And at super middleweight, he's unbeaten.
I think if you asked anyone 2 years ago,
I think
who wins Canelo Crawford, everyone would say Canelo.
What are you going on about, mate? You've lost the plot.
Canelo would spark him out. Now, is that because Canelo's an absolute genius and just been coasting in his last few fights and hasn't really had to do a lot
Canelo's
to win?
Definitely a fantastic boxer. He's definitely great.
He is. He's phenomenal.
Yeah. I think the thing here, though, is if you put pure technical level and skill on, I think Crawford has more.
Is Canelo that?
But Canelo's tough as...
No, but also, is Canelo got that one last thing where he goes, I'll show you the bosses?
Well, we've said this a few times, and there's a few boxers like Jaron Ennis, Boots Ennis, where they need a live opponent to get the juices flowing to get them up that level.
But my only worry is Crawford goes on the run.
I think Crawford's going to be moving around, but I think that's not really his style. And I think he's going to come in this fight. He's also going to be on because he wants to show that he is the best of all time. And
I hope it's the best fight in the world ever.
And I think it's actually going to be quite good because I think they're going to stand and fight because he's going to show he can take a punch and do it. My concern for Crawford's side is that Canelo's fought Golovkin and taking Golovkin's good Triple G's good best punches and not really even,
And Bivol.
Yes, I say that's a good punch. And Bivol's punches, who's obviously a light heavyweight and, all right, not the biggest puncher, but light heavyweight and not light, not light-handed.
Yeah, he's got a great...
And he's fought other big punching things. He's got a great chin. He's got far better defense than he was when he was younger. And it's, can you actually knock him out? And is he beatable if you don't knock him out?
He's good at getting a point to win Canelo, isn't he?
Yeah. Just doing enough to get the win in there and his movement. That's my concern. How do you actually beat him? Is Crawford capable of knocking him out?
The thing I go back to is, remember when Canelo fought Billy Joe Saunders?
Yeah.
I mean, I had Billy Joe Saunders up in that fight.
Yeah.
Until that right hand basically rearranged his face.
Side of his face. Took his side, sucked out.
And it was like Canelo knew I'll land that right hand. I think he's got to do more against Crawford, though.
I think Crawford is a different level. The thing is this, I don't think you got a size advantage. So it's going to be actually on your boxing and your skill.
He hasn't got a size advantage, but I think he's got a power advantage.
I think he's got a power advantage. I think he's got two. He's got the power advantage and the taking a punch advantage because he's not going to get knocked out. At that weight, I don't think you're going to get knocked out by anybody.
Who's got the speed advantage?
Crawford. I think even coming up, he will have the speed advantage. I think movement, he's got the advantage. Foot movement and movement in general. Speed advantage, I think he's got it. Power, Canelo, definitely.
IQ?
Crawford. Although it's close. I think Crawford is slightly ahead. In the way he adapts, and he can adapt his stance and everything to a fight. Because he'll be in a fight, and if he looks like he's losing, and then adapt and boom. Whereas I think Canelo's is, like you said, against Saunders. If he's losing it, he knows he's going to land, and that's it. End of fight. Then basically, isn't it? He's got enough power in those pop. Because I think he puts a lot in each one of his punches.
It seems like Canelo prefers to fight the bigger guy.
Yeah.
Do you know if that makes any sense?
He seems to do better in that.
Yeah.
And walking him down and getting a thing. I think the problem you got there with Crawford is the thing is this: you've got defensively in terms of taking a punch. I think Canelo is better. Power wise, single punch and stuff, I think Canelo's better, and he's there. So he's seasoned at this weight. Speed wise, I think Crawford. Boxing IQ, I think Crawford, although that's close. Foot movement, I think Crawford. It's intriguing because it's about half and half. Size, I think they're the same. I don't think it's like where it's not Usyk versus Tyson Fury, where the guy's 60 pounds heavier. I think they're about a similar size. Obviously, Canelo is more seasoned at this weight, and he's stepping up 2 weights. So there's going to be a bit of, you've got to acclimatize to that. Height, they're basically the same. It's like 5'7.5" to 5'8". Reach, Crawford's actually got the advantage. I think it's intriguing from there. Because I think we have said in here, it's hard to see Canelo getting beat to super middleweight. I could see him getting beat to light heavyweight, but that's a different thing. You've got people with way bigger size like Bivol did. And then his only other defeats obviously against Mayweather, and it was a lower weight when Mayweather was on his prime and he was learning.
The problem I have is you always go, I've seen it so many times with these fighters, they go that one weight too far.
And he's gone too. Well, realistically, 3.
4,
from
5,
147.
6. Oscar De La Hoya did it. He come up against Hopkins, went too far.
Yeah, that's the concern, because they've actually started about the same, 140, although I think Crawford was a little bit smaller. And then he's gone up, but he's hung around that weight for a long, long time, become undisputed, then went up to 147. Obviously done that for a long time. At 147, he's had it on. He's only really had one fight. Well, he's not really. He's only had one fight at 154, and then he's gone up to this 168. So the worry always is what you're saying, isn't it?
Is it that?
If he'd gone to 160, we'd have been worried to fighting like a Johnny Beck, and he going up to fight Canelo, who's never been beaten at super middleweight. Doesn't even look like he was being close to being beaten.
Yeah.
I mean, the only guy I would have said, like I said, Triple G, I think in the first fight beat him, but like. Draw,
thing is, like I say, I think this will get Canelo's juices slow in this fight. I think his last few fights he's been...
Well, there's talk that he's lightened a little bit to get his speed up again. So he's going to go back to that, like what Canelo was.
But like I say, I think he's just been fed up of running around after the ring after people. I mean, the last fight he had, Jesus Christ. I mean, it was just horrendous, wasn't it? But that's how you beat Canelo. You stay out of his way. You throw a couple of punches at him, and then you run to the other side of the ring as fast as you possibly can. That's how I'd fight him. Mm-hmm. I'd basically touch him. I wouldn't even throw a punch. It'd just be a touch and leg it.
Well, if you've got a reach advantage, that's...
Yeah. See you later. I'm off.
Touch and move.
Come and get me. But what'll be interesting... Size of the ring I'll be interested in.
Yeah.
Who takes centre of the ring?
Mm-hmm.
Trainers are going to play a massive key in this, I think. Could their game plans.
I think the game plan is going to be crucial.
Really
because what are you
going to be game plans?
Yeah.
Because they're both great counter punches.
Yeah. Well, they're both great fighters. They're both great boxers. They've both got like huge ring IQ, ring generalship, everything.
Crawford's cute.
Crawford, the
cute fighter, throws little.
He adapts really, really well, and that's where I think in adaptation he may be one of the best of there is, maybe one of the best of all time of adapting how he changes and does, and he can change stance and change in a fight. And there's that because he's never been beaten. He's got that thing of not getting beaten, and he's got that little bit of dog in him to be, his thing is really to be the best. So I think for him, it's like when he fought Errol Spence, it's raising the game because you're actually fighting somebody where he gets excited and goes. I think he's got the same thing of fighting Canelo is, I'm excited about this. And I think in a way he's got nothing to lose because no,
he has actually.
He's got to lose his record, but
I think
and legacy. But the thing is, most people, realistically, most boxing people are going to expect him to lose.
No, I think that's changed.
Well, I was going to say that as well. I was going to build up this side and say
changed
because it's funny enough. Should we go to the odds? The odds actually are slightly favour Canelo. He's 3-5, so -170, and it's 7-5 plus 140 for Terence Crawford, which is really, really close for this type of thing.
Yeah.
But on predictions, this got me a bit this morning when I was looking at this. It's 44% for Canelo, 1% for a draw, and 55% for Crawford.
Told you.
44% by decision for Crawford, 27% decision for Canelo, 17% KO for Canelo, and 10% KO for Crawford, and 1% for the draw. And that's quite a big sample of people. So that's quite interesting to me. It's really, really close. It's 50-50 basically. But then this is interesting that there's more for Crawford on the...
Yeah.
Its biggest one is 44% is Crawford by decision. Yeah. I've got Crawford. I'm like, I'll say Crawford by decision. I think it's going to be
You're
the
going
result.
Crawford by decision.
Yeah, that's I've had it since the beginning, since it's been made. The only other thing I have, and this may be a bit cynical, is obviously there's other fights lined up from the Saudis for Canelo, which is that this would fry in the ointment if Crawford becomes undisputed super middleweight.
Reckon there'll be a rematch clause?
They probably will. It depends on the outcome of the fight. Yeah. I think it will. Go on. What's your...
Canelo body shot, 9th round. Huge body shot. Doubles him over.
If Canelo gets hold of him, like if Crawford with the extra weight and stuff is slowed down and Canelo gets hold of him, then yeah.
I just think this is Canelo's...
It's Canelo's swan song as well.
I hate to say this, yeah. It's Canelo's last hurrah, and I think he's going to... I think Canelo's pissed off.
That people even giving the guy a chance.
Yeah, I think he's fuming.
I could see that.
And I think he's going to go out there and go, you what? And this is why, and I think Canelo deliberately said to Crawford, don't run.
Yeah.
Fight me like a man. Stand in the middle of the ring and let's have it. But I'm going body shot, 9th round. Fold Crawford in half. His lungs
he's more than capable
come
of doing
out
it.
Of his back.
He's more than capable of doing it.
But I'll go back to my very first statement at this. I can see this being a very boring fight.
Mm.
And I really, really hope I'm wrong. But every time a fight gets hyped up as fight of the century,
you
fight
get disappointed,
of the year,
don't you?
It ends up being absolute crap.
Well, you want to get a good fight in it. You want it to go at least like 9-10 rounds and get something decent.
No, I just want entertainment.
Yeah, have good
I want him
entertainment
going at it.
But if the one round, if Canelo KOs him in one round and ruins everything, that's like, yeah, all right, that's probably...
I'd rather have that.
Than a boring run around.
Boring,
yeah,
cat and mouse game.
But I actually want to appreciate both of their skills, because obviously it's probably Crawford's last fight or near there. You know, he's 37. He's made it. I think this is just like the last big payday and legacy he wants to win to prove everybody that, because he'll be the first person in first fighter to be freeweight undisputed champion.
We shall see.
Yeah.
Interesting. Look forward to it. But
if he wins, do you think he's the best fighter of all time?
Who, Crawford?
Or he's got a good shout to being in that conversation? Because he's basically doing something nobody else has done before.
Not at super middleweight. Oh, just in general?
No, in general. Because obviously he's going to be 3-time undisputed champion.
He goes up into the top,
he's in the conversation.
Top 5.
He's in the conversation.
He definitely goes in that conversation, yeah.
And does he become number 1 pound for pound boxer at the moment? I think you have to, really, isn't it? It's tough between him and Usyk.
I mean, he's not in my top 3 at the minute, Crawford.
Well, he's outside yours. He's in my top 3, but he's at number 3. Just because he's been inactive.
I'd go with, like, would Crawford live with the likes of Pacquiao, Mayweather? Yeah. Sugar Leonard, Robert Duran. Yeah.
Well, it's always difficult to...
Wouldn't say you beat them, but...
I think if he's won...
He's competitive.
If he wins the fight, and depending on the nature of the win, but if he wins the fight, I think you've got to have him in the conversation just because of achievement.
But at super middleweight?
No, because he's on first fight at super middleweight.
Joe Calzaghe takes care of the pair of them.
Yeah. I think overall, because obviously it's Crawford coming up in weights, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Joe Calzaghe, the problem with Joe Calzaghe, and this is why I always said he beats Canelo, throws far too many punches for Canelo to deal with. Canelo, Carl Froch. Now that'd have been a great scrap at super middleweight.
Yeah. I'd edge Canelo on that.
Again, Andre Ward, Canelo. I think Andre Ward beats Canelo just through sheer skill. But Canelo will go down as top one.
Well, I think the fight there is Andre Ward and Joe Calzaghe. Skill level, that would be epic.
Jesus Christ.
And it's hard to pick which one wins.
Yeah. I don't think Canelo, you say, big enough for the big super middleweight. And I'm talking, like, go back, Kessler, Carl Froch, Joe Calzaghe,
yeah, he's small
Andre
for the
Ward.
size. It's just that there's nobody.
They were good, solid, big super middleweights. And
that's why Crawford's got a chance. I think if he was a proper super middleweight.
Don't get me wrong, Canelo has
Crawford
beat some big guys. But like I say, I think Canelo, he does like fighting the big guys. But I don't think these super middleweights had a patch on the super middleweights from the
Well, I think the advantage he had the speed, and I think that's why he likes the light heavyweight fighting. Yeah. The problem is if you come up against a Bivol who's faster and equally skilled or even more skilled, you lose.
Yeah,
because they know how to do that, and they're you taking advantage of the size. I think a lot of the super middleweights he's fought, and that is this.
They are good. Don't get me wrong.
No, he's got a good resume of fighters. And
oh,
things
Jesus
there.
Christ!
Yeah,
I mean, his
ridiculous.
resume of fighters is second to none.
How many did I say? 67 fights.
When
and 63 wins.
You're talking in there like you're going back to the noughties, the likes of Miguel Cotto.
Well, the thing is this: if you take one of his draws is early on, so discount that. You've got 3 fights. You've got a draw against Golovkin. All right, that one of them should have been a loss.
G,
but Triple G, he's got 2.5 points against, isn't it? Realistically, it should be 1.5. But still, how good Triple G is, that's like epic. And then your other losses against Mayweather, who is arguably one of the best at skill-wise and at that time of all time. And you've got Bivol, who's bigger and arguably one of the best lightweights of all time. So you've got definitely of this time. So, even with those, his resume is epic. And I think that's where Crawford always gets his thing because, his detractors, shall we say, because they query his resume.
Thing with Crawford is the one guy he did beat who was absolutely superb and doesn't get enough credit for was Ricky Burns.
He says that himself. It's a big fight, and he did it in his backyard.
Honest
in
to God, because that was Ricky Burns at the time was flying. Don't forget, Ricky.
Well, he was one of Eddie Hearn's golden boys.
Ricky, and not enough credit's given on Ricky Burns, and Ricky Burns was a 3-weight world champion.
Well, Eddie Hearn gives him, isn't it, big up, and that's how he's winding him up.
Well, with Crawford, it was a close fight.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time going, "Wow, this lad's going somewhere."
Well, I think that's what made Crawford in the world eyes. Obviously, in America, he was known a bit, but in more. And Ricky Burns was one of Eddie Hearn's cash cows, golden boys.
I mean, the people who don't,
and it was a good
Ricky
fight.
Burns was superb. He really, 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 like I say, 3-weight world champion.
Yeah.
Only lost to the very, very, very best.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot in Crawford's like that actually the people he's fought and at the time fought were really, really good. It's just because he's beaten them and he's gone on, he's made them look less.
Don't forget, this is like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
This is how long these guys have been going, Canelo and Crawford.
Yeah. Well, you don't realise about looking at his age, but Canelo's been there forever, isn't it? Because he's obviously started 15, so he's been 20 years.
Same as Crawford, like
Crawford
I say,
started
these are 20 years ago, long time ago when they were fighting. Arguably better fighters back then than there are today, to be fair. I would say that.
Yeah.
Because I'd say the noughties from that lightweight up to middleweight, there was some absolute monsters.
Of time, don't you? Eras and things, and I think they've had a lot.
There.
And Canelo has fought a load of, it's epic, and Crawford as well. Both of them have brought up.
Yeah, honestly, there was some absolute huge names.
Think from both of them. See, the interesting thing with me, the other one is the mentality, because I don't see either of them having a weak mentality, which makes it really intriguing. Because usually you can tell in it, there's one guy who's got that extra, and it's both is really, really
you know
hard.
what? They've had I wouldn't say a bit of bad mouth, but they respect each other massively. Yeah, they're trying to get in under each other's skin, but I think a lot of that's just for camera to sell.
I think it's just to sell the fight, because
I think the pair of them would just quite happily sit there in silence. To be honest, in the press conferences.
No, I think there's a lot of respect. I think Canelo's got a little bit, not from Crawford, but from other people saying it.
Yeah.
I think he's
So
got that little bit of,
I
what?
think, like I
You
say,
think I can't do this?
I think Canelo is pissed off.
And Crawford's got he wants to prove he's the best. So that's what I like. It's really intriguing from that point of view. So yeah, let us know in the comments what you think.
Who will win?
Who you're winning? How will they
decade?
win? And does that put them in the conversation? Because obviously they're fighting a huge opponent. And then the thing we've missed, pay packet, it's 200 million purse. It's allegedly 150 for Canelo and 50 for Crawford. And the reason I mention this is that's why the undercard is a bit light, because we suspect they can't afford to pay anybody else. For an event of this size, you would have expected a huge, really nice undercard.
The one thing that Canelo is...
Because it's going to be pay-per-view as well, isn't it? And
Canelo's a fantastic businessman.
Yeah, let's just say that. Kudos to him for that. And well, yeah, because he gets a huge, it's not just the upfront payments, he's got a huge percentage of the actual revenue of the whole event.
Yeah, he ain't stupid.
He'll be making, a huge amount for this. And yeah, but the undercard, like the Usyk Dubois number 2 event, the undercard was light.
Yeah, it was always going to be. It goes back to how we used to talk about it. You'd have one main fight and then the undercard was absolute rubbish and you'd be struggling to stay awake. And I understand why. If you're paying 200 million, then you ain't going to be paying.
Well, you're not going to have much change to pay everybody else.
10 or 15 million on undercards. So yeah, I get it. I do get that.
But that's our nice segue into the next section. So we got Christian Mbilli versus Lester Martinez, which actually is an intriguing fight. It's super middleweight as well. Christian Mbilli is basically the number 1 contender on the ring. And Martinez is like within the WBA, WBC. He's in the rankings of those. Not at the top, but I think he's 3rd on WBA, 7th on WBC, 15th on WBO. So they're both in it, both unbeaten fighters. So let me give you a tail of the tape on this. So it's a super middleweight contest. Christian Mbilli has 29 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws. 29 fights in total, 24 wins by KO. He's age 30. He's 5'8", 5'8" and a half, 174 centimeters. He's got a 72-inch reach, 183 centimeters. It's at 168 pounds, 76.2 kilos, and he fights out of an orthodox stance. Lester Martinez also has a perfect record. He's got 19 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 19 fights in total, 16 wins by KO. So the KO percentage is pretty similar. He's age 29. He's 5'11", 180 centimeters. He's got a 72-inch reach as well, 183 centimeters. And he's also fights out of an orthodox stance. It's an interesting fight. Mbilli's the one we've always said is like the second in that. Well, since we've seen him fight a few times, second in that super middleweight division.
Yeah, it's going to be... this ain't going 12 rounds, I'll tell you now.
It's an interesting fight. This should be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a great fight. Fight of the night.
It could be.
I mean, I'd have to favour Mbilli slightly.
Just on experience.
I think this is a massive step up for both of them.
Yeah. This is a big level jumping.
So, yeah, whoever wins this, massive things to come. But I do rate Mbilli.
Mm-hmm. But he's one of our faves on the under the radar faves of this. But this is a tough fight. Martinez is good as well.
It is a pick and fight, but I'm going to edge with Mbilli by knockout for this. I just think there's something about him that he won't be denied.
Yeah.
I think he'll have, and I think he'll have a bit.
I think he's just going to have a bit too much energy for Martinez, and his pressure is just going to be a bit too much. His experience.
But, I just got a feeling it's going to be a great fight. So I really am looking forward to it. It is a pick and fight, but I am just going to go with Mbilli. And I don't think it's going to be a long fight.
Well, they've both got about 83% KO ratio.
So I'm going to go it'll be over.
And Mbilli does go out like a train.
Yeah, it'll be over before the 7th.
Okay, go on then. Are you going to start with prediction?
So I'm going to go Mbilli 4th round KO to make a statement of the intent.
I think it's going to go a little bit longer. I think Mbilli as well, but I think it's going to get to about round 9. I think Martinez is quite good, but I think eventually Mbilli's pressure, about 9 or 10, is going to wear them out.
We might be completely wrong. So you Martinez
fans, is going to win on points.
There's going to be Martinez fans out there that are going to say.
So let us know. But we've seen more of Mbilli than Martinez, to be fair. But I've seen a bit of Martinez. Yeah, he's very, very good.
Really looking forward to that fight.
But I think that this one, as we've said on the Intercom, but this is a really good fight.
Great start.
And I think they're in that contention to fight. Probably Canelo in it. Mbilli's definitely in the queue. Yeah. And both good fighters, both unbeaten. It'd be interesting to see. I just think Mbilli's just got that a bit more than Martinez. But I'm sure you're fans of both can let us know. Let us know your thoughts on this one. And then I think there's one more fight which we know a bit about. We'll just mention it. It's Callum Walsh versus Fernando Vargas Jr. Well, Callum Walsh is a rising sort of Irish boxing star on the way up. He's unbeaten and he's had 14 fights, 11 wins by KO, and Vargas has got 17 fights, 17 wins, and 15 by KO. So both, again, high knockout ratios. Pretty similar in size. They're both southpaws. Both have good boxing skills and boxing brains. So it should be an interesting fight. I think this is super welterweight, so 154 pounds. I've seen a little bit of both. I haven't seen loads. But the two of the sort of behind the main ones, because 154 is quite stacked division, the up and coming ones in that division. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. The predictions are that 75% Vargas. Which is a little bit higher than I would have thought. 50% by KO and 25%. Well, 25% to draw. 50% is Vargas by KO and 25% is Vargas by decision, which I find a little bit one-sided. But I think there's probably more Vargas fans who read this than Callum Walsh.
Yeah, be an interesting fight. Be a good fight to watch to up-and-coming prospects. So
yeah, with a bit of skill and get on with experience. And I don't know if there's any other ones, but I think that's the main ones because they spent all the money on the main event. And Mbilli and probably Lester Martinez got the rest, and then there's not much left for everybody else. Yeah, huge event, intriguing fight. Look forward to it. And just hope it's not a ball draw and running fest.
Let's hope.
And there's a fair amount of, we need the Hrgovic amount of, if Hrgovic is a heavyweight, can put out 50 punches around, that's what we need in these things. There's no excuse not to. Although both Canelo and Crawford are usually efficient, they're not that highest punch output in the world. I don't think they've ever been really high punch outputs, but as long as it's effective and entertaining, it'll be good. And Mbilli obviously does put out that punch output. I think he's about 60 or 70, I think we said. At one point, he's one of the highest punch outputs per round. So yeah, we'll get to see some there, hopefully. Anything else on these? I think that's it, isn't it?
That's it for
so
me.
We look forward to the fights. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, what you think of each of the fights, what you think of this fight, Canelo and Crawford, and their legacies tied to it.
Who's going to win?
The Mbilli and Martinez, the two rising sort of
stars.
Potential stars of this division. Let us know what your thoughts are on that. The Martinez fans, we've obviously sided with Mbilli because of the experience and what we've seen of him. Let us know Martinez, and Walsh and Vargas. Let us know, because it's a bit surprising that it's heavily sided in favor of Vargas. I mean, I was edging that way, but not that much. It was a little bit closer. And like and subscribe and support the channel, and we can carry on making more of these videos. And we're probably there's another event close to this with Inouye and Akhmadaliev. So we'll be doing that soon. So keep an eye out for that video and our other videos. And we'll probably be doing, we will be doing at some point, videos on all these fighters, depending on what the outcome and stuff is on Canelo and Crawford and in a way. And we've got an up and coming one on Usyk, so keep an eye out for that. And we shall see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching and listening.